Hello, beautiful friends. So I just realized that a large part of my medicine is dream work. I've been an active dreamer since I was a child, often having a hard time separating dreams and reality, because I've always been an astral worker, whatever that means. The last few weeks I've dreamt a lot about tarot cards. So I'm learning deeper about that. And what I'm realizing is that in tarot and oracle cards, they are encoded not only with, this ancient way that we have been divinating for years, throughout since these decks were created. I don't know really even the history of tarot, to be honest. Nobody in my family had cards. I picked them up and then just have been reading them a lot over the years. And when I first started reading, I was very intimidated because I don't retain the actual meanings of cards per traditional that well. My friend taught me the basics of what the numbers and the suits meant, and I got most of the major arcana, but mostly I read by the pictures and how I'm activated on a subconscious level. Now, I've been dreaming a lot about cards lately, and cards will be featured in my dreams. Like, I had one of, every Wheel of Fortune card that had ever been drawn. Like, I was inside of all of those different Wheels of Fortunes, and I was, spiraling around, and they were, kind of like a chariot device, and it was insane. And then I had one where all these cards were, spreading around, and there were 5 of them, and the nine of Pentacles or 9 of Cups just kept coming up very strong. Anyway, and there's been times in my life where I've dreamt about tarot when I'm not actively using them, and then that feels very predictive for me. So anyway, today I wanted to stop and take a minute to utilize this dream medicine and do a dream activation, a clarity dream activation, so that in the subconscious realm and our work at night, that we're clearing through these various layers coming forth. So I want to start today with just calling in a dragon guide to protect us as we receive this version of dream activations. I believe I'm going to do a lot of these moving forward. I feel like it just came through to me that that's what I'm to do. But this is this specific dragon for today's dream activation. Great. So our dragon. There is a car driving by. My goodness. Here we go. Thank you. I can't stop these without stopping them indefinitely. So we have to get through the barking. Ooh, I don't know how to edit videos very well. I've done it, but it's challenging. Okay, so this is Source Dragon. It says, attunes to the infinite. Be still in the silence. Magic can happen. Be in the moment. This feels very astral realm to me, and I really just want to take a moment to cultivate this same sense of chi or of wizardry, of infinite possibility in our crown. So let's moving this energy forward, and I'm going to hold my own with the intention that you are also holding and cultivating your own. You can feel your chi as you hold it in between this thing, and you can kind of wash yourself with it too. This is a part of this protection energy here. Okay, so really be this guy, Source Dragon. Okay, we're going to call in our astral plant medicine moving forward for this particular activation. All right. And we are working with purity, number 1. I love this. What I'm really sensing from this card in particular as it activates the Calendula, I can never say this one right. I've dreamt of Calendula before I even knew what it was about and how it was, it's an amplifier. So this card specifically is going to amplify the intensity of this dream activation that we are receiving at this time. All right. I also am sensing that in this, we are being guided to work with our inner child to reactivate our sense of the portal that the dream realm allows us to cultivate. All right. So we're walking into a new realm. Now, the invitation here is that you're going to have dreams unlike ever before. They're going to be diverse and different and powerful. All right. So now I'm guided to move to the inner child deck because of this child here. So this is the inner child activation that we need to move forward in this dream realm. Okay. So we have the 10 of crystals. This is the 10 of pentacles. Now, what this card is saying to me is really about securing a sense of safety, all right, of sense of safety in the home. So as you go into doing deeper dream work and are activated by this video, my proposal is that you create a sacred space within your dream room. I live in a tiny cabin, and my bedroom literally can only fit a bed. There's hardly anything in there, and I love it. I love the confines of it because I feel like it allows me to do the astral work in a bigger way. Now, you can cultivate these spaces to be whatever you need them to be. You know, I like to have my bedroom to be a purple color of some kind. I've always desired that because I feel like that it is protective, and it's like activating in this crown, this crown realm. It also feels very sensual and sacred. I have a lighter purple in my room, but there's an indigo-y component still to it. So really cultivating that safe space. Having nice sheets that you feel protected in, maybe washing them in like a franken myrrh or sea salt, like something that has a protective, a soap that has a protective energy in it. I also highly recommend doing rituals with your bedding, saging the space. You don't need to do that every night. You can also have certain scents that you put on before you go to bed, or incense that you burn. This can really help cultivate the act of going to sleep as a ritual and that fills you with intention. And I highly recommend this because the more intentional we get about our dream space and our sleep space, because each night we fall asleep, it is a death of its own. We wake up the next day in a completely different energy than where we were before, if we slept well. Sometimes that energy can be impacted by what happened in the astral realm, or through the subconscious dream space, depending on where it is that you're landing. Okay? So I want to do, in addition to this inner child, okay, now we're going to get right into it, and I want to activate, what is the subconscious activation for this particular clearing or healing. Okay, so this activation is the Ace of Challenges. Okay, so this is the Ace of Swords. All right, so for this particular activation, we are working out on clearing old thought forms out, old ways of being, old projections of what reality is, so that as we go into this astral space, we are able to cultivate, expand, and grow. All right, I know a lot of people have trouble remembering their dreams, and my advice is, if you want to remember your dreams, you will. So you start setting the intention of, I want to remember my dreams. And when you wake up, the very first thing you do, your eyes don't even have to be open. I grab my phone and I write down whatever I can remember when I wake up from dreams. Another tactic that you can use is intentionally having yourself wake up through the night by drinking some water before you go to bed. I don't like that technique, but it can be helpful for some, okay? So we want to do, what does this Ace of Challenges represent? And we're going to work with the Seers of Light here, and then we're going to grab a traditional tarot card. All right, so Seers of Light wants us to view suspension, the Hanged Man. Okay, so we were kind of spot on here with this. All right, so we're using this Ace of Challenges, this Ace of Swords, to like shoot through old perspectives and reverse these perspectives. Now, another piece about becoming an active dreamer is giving cred to the dream realm. All right, it's understanding that it is a different layer of our consciousness. It could be connecting us to past lives. It could be helping us clear out karmic connections. It could be helping us connect to important connections in our life. It could be bringing prophecies, it could be, or premonitions. The dream realm becomes a realm and a reality of its own, and the more you work with your dreams and the more you recognize the symbology of your subconscious, you're able to create meanings and a conversation between those parts of you and with spirit simultaneously. You can get messages, you can be taken to different realms. Like there's infinite possibilities when it comes to the dream realm, but you really have to reverse your perspective and open yourself up to anything is possible here. And this is also how I grow and learn now. I do believe that the reason I do this dream work is so that I can expand more intensely on a physical level, and I can advance at a quicker rate. Even when I was a kid, while I didn't have the terminology at the time, you know, before my cousin was born, I had a dream where I was holding her, and we were in like a tornado or some, you know, disastrous event, and I was holding her so tight that she suffocated. And why that may or may not be the story, my feeling is that my cousin was my child in a past life, and I felt deeply connected to her when she was born. And I remember saying that to her mom, being like, this child and I are very connected. And, you know, I was, 11 years older, you know, nothing crazy, but I knew that I had a bond with this soul, and that I really loved and cherished this soul. And, you know, this lifetime there could be the stress and the forgiveness. You know, it's obviously I didn't intentionally smother my child. I was trying to protect it. So this is really good stuff. Okay, we're moving on to the traditional tarot, which can activate even more images, because this is, you know, the Rider-Waite is what we've been looking at throughout time, much more than all of like our current fun Oracle decks. I like using not just Oracle and Tarot based decks. I like using the other decks because they can evoke different feelings, and sometimes for me, some of the symbology is lost of the Rider-Waite, and I connect to more modern images of it. And I do think that most illustrators, they know what they're doing when they do that. Okay. Excellent. Okay, I really love this moving forward, okay? So this is what we're working to cultivate in this dream activation tonight. This is the Knight of Wands. Okay, so with the Knight of Wands, we've got energy, passionate, inspired action, adventure, fearlessness, and impulsiveness, okay? Now, this card just came up in, I think, a reading yesterday. It was a different version of this. But as we see this, it is this, like, this breaking free of old constraints and really embracing and enjoying the new movement coming forth. So really just take a minute, and I'd like you to be very activated by these cards. And I'm going to hold up these as a 1, 2, 3 of the full activation that we're receiving. Okay, so this is important, all right? And hold it forth, you know, like each of these cards kind of have a different energy, although it feels to me that these are kind of, this Knight of Wands is a combined energy, you know, by utilizing the Hanged Man as a reverse perspective, you know, you are creating this enlightenment for yourself that creates the freedom to explore within the dream realm. All right, I'm going to bring forth a Lemurian energy, and then we're going to close, and a shamanic energy for this dream activation. And then we're going to close it out. All right. So I hope that this is going to bring some good things for all of us in the dreams. It's going to bring more protection to the astral realm. Okay. This is something I was thinking about. So this is a cat, and it's called the Portal Keeper. All right. This is perfect. I have to read the back of the card. Portals are gateways to other layers of reality. They can be assessed through inner practices or externally in places such as planet vortexes. I will have been in Sedona at the time of the release of this video, or right after, so that's cool. Gently explore the edges of your existence. Spend time listening to the forest, deepen your meditation practice, dance with yourself in ecstasy, explore psychic tools, study new healing modalities. If you're feeling a lack of purpose or life seems mundane, remember there is never a reason to be bored. What we experience with our physical senses is just the tip of the iceberg. Magic exists wherever you care to find it. Look between the lines to limitless discovery. Okay, so as you're receiving the information in this video and getting this activation, I was also thinking about Egypt. So my understanding of, and this is coming from my own base, it's not coming from anywhere specific, my understanding of the portals, or of the pyramids in Egypt, and this is a very Sphinx-like cat, is that they were in the tombs, that these were places to practice interdimensional travel. All right. And a component of what the dreams are in our thing is practicing interdimensional travel. I do believe there's a sense of being able to time hop within the world of dreams. I also do believe that there's a sense of getting to explore different dimensions. Just in this year, I started dreaming about fairies and very specifically selkies, which are like human seals. They changed from humans into seals. And some very interesting things as the veil starts to thin within the dreams, because that also helps it in, this dimension that we're connecting in, kind of activate and go more. Okay, and I love this little Sphinx kitty because I really feel that this is part of the energy, and we've still got this is very similar to this source energy, right? This is the cat version, it feels like. All right, I'm going to draw one last card, the Shamanic Oracle, because I love how it grounds us at the end of these readings. And the card, it's teaching, okay? So, the more we work with our dreams, the more we have access to this other layer of teachings that wouldn't be available before. And I'm not sure, but the number 14 feels really significant in this moment. Feels significant to maybe have a grounding practice also in the morning when you wake up. I know that's something I struggle with, and I'm very disoriented. Like, wow, I just had these crazy dreams. What does it mean? Like, is this something I need to tune into this reality, or is that something that's being freed? So it's just listening to these multidimensional layers, and the more time you spend in the dream realm, understanding that it is a significant part of teaching, the more you're going to get from those teachings. All right. So this has been really satisfying for me. I'm going to do more dream activations, and I'm going to get more specific about how I do them. This was just kind of like an intro to dream activations and exploring it through the tarot. And I look forward to doing more of this work with you. If you want to talk about your dreams, I'm hoping that this will open us up to maybe having a monthly Zoom call where we have a dream lodge, where we're able to sit down and kind of talk about the dreams that I've seen most potent that have been coming up for us, in addition to identifying the collective themes, so that, again, we can do more work gridding in the new earth as is guided by our higher selves and souls. Many blessings to you all. Thanks for tuning in, and please reach out if you'd like it. I'll see you later. Aho!